All right, part 2 on the time of the 36 trillion debt clock, which is the T-bed backwards, and he's there on his second coming. And I hope y'all are ready because they're going to be going deep cover. And there is darkness being put upon the deep right now. So as we are on the 320th day, and that counterclockwise thing's kind of coming back. We're going to start looking forward instead of backwards, and these little different things are happening in our world and changing this projection as the lights and stars and all these things come in to show us a sign of the time. If you've paid attention to sports, you can notice, or not paid attention, it's not very hard, but there's been a blend of things going on, okay? And the Elvis thing on Netflix right now, they mentioned something about how they put Elvis with this, or they did this in the movies or whatever. They know it might ruin his reputation or whatever, but it's sold. Who's there to sell you something? So this is where you always have, it was kind of put forth to us in the 70s a little bit, and then kind of taken over, and then now we see it with college sports and college players being paid and all this other stuff going on. So this is where they're blending in a real reality and fake reality, and we see this with wrestling and these types of things, but where you have real organic players and then you have real paid off players, and the ones that are in the key positions are the ones that are paid off in a matter of speaking, and they're the ones who can either make the ball or lose the ball, make the hit, don't make the hit, those types of things. So but they're all now in our world, they're always on the winning team. The winning team always has that star player, always has those Nikes, always has those whatever they're trying to sell you. That lifestyle, that girl, that man, whatever. Okay? So as all these things are a test on multiple levels, okay? It's creating that so-called right or wrong or right or left or America. Okay, so how this ties into the boxing fight and the sacrifice, in a matter of speaking, and I'm just there's things going on with I got one of these old big Bibles here that's got all the little notes and stuff, and those are more important than the Bible kind of thing, because these are the outlines. And you're in the outlines right now because the lines have already gathered to mark it in the right hand, to worship his name and his number. 45, 47, 9, 11. Oh, well, that's a bad dawn and a bad din. And they're both before you, and they've already dangled the keys, and you've already came into the pit. So what's dawn is done. And that second dawn is rising, and as he's rising, that dark maga is going to take hold, and the dark sun is going to wrap him in and square him in. Okay, so the Caesar and the, where was it on this outline? He was not of the circumcision, and indicated that he was of the Gentile and probably Greek, Antioch of Syria and whatever, right? So we're going to be, and the home was of Philippi, the Philippi. So we're going to see reality kind of open up the next 4 years in a way, and as they're opened up, we're going to see, as Pandora's box closes, we're going to see Pandora's box open up as far as the stars and the lives of these people, where their book of life is opened to where they are seen at the Diddy parties or whatever, because there's hundreds or thousands of hours of these videos, according to the dark speak, that we get to see and so-called cast judgment and the white throne judgment, and those things carry on in another way. So there can be a scenario with this boxing match, okay? If you, the Netflix story on Jake Paul and Tyson that's leading up to this, the 3-part series on the documentary, hearing Jake Paul's story, okay, of how this even all started, of how he started boxing and all these things, okay? And he's part of Brother Does Wrestling and all these things. And if you've seen whatever YouTube, Hollywood agencies, whatever, right? They come out and they say, do you want to be a YouTube star? Blah, blah, blah. Well, that's when they gather up these kinds of so-called kids like Titus or Jake or Logan Paul or whatever, and they it's not as organic as you're saying, because these things take a team of people and time and what. That's why my stuff here that I give y'all is just plain Jane, because I ain't got time. I'm busting my ass in all my free time, or all the time, to give y'all what I give you to break it down for you, because I know how important this is going to be looking back for the people, because they have no clue. Okay. And looking ahead and being ahead and looking back, I know that people aren't going to understand at these times per se. I know it's for a time coming. So the fighting and the story of Jake Paul and all these other things, okay? If he wins, this comes down to many lacks of knowledge, because when I was a teenager and early 20s, I grew up in the dojo, and I was hit many times by 50-year-old men and up in the face and kicked by them and stuff. And they move plenty fast and they hit plenty hard. So the almost any, this is where the reality and the script is kind of maybe overlapping, okay, to where they've produced or manufactured this so-called fighter, Jake Paul, okay, because you know, look, watching these fights and just different things about them, that they don't add up all the time. So this can be where that manufactured fighter is saying, like Tyson said he was going to let you knock him out or whatever kind of thing. You're just going to have to do it and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so Jake's coming in expecting this shit. And he's been talking shit, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but this is where Tyson, he's not part of that circumcision. He's coming in for a different mindset. Okay, and he's not going to so-called stick to the script. And it's basically just some kid walking into a sacrifice. All right. So and it's also a good chance that we could see some type of event where it's kind of too close for that, but we'll just wrap it up, because the sports before you are not as they appear, as far as they're not organic, first off, and then the stars that you see are not the lives that you're living, because my personal experience was when I started cutting hair, my second boss that I cut hair for was an Asian dude, and he just happened to sell cocaine to Pudge Rodriguez and a few of the Rangers players. And I was even there one day when she came in and got her hair cut, and she got an ounce from him at the salon. But the and then the Stars players, but it's not all what you think. All right. And then also I've had one of the Cowboys girlfriends, they weren't married at the time, but they're married now, but she was doing heroin from a Vaseline bottle in my chair and just like she was getting highlights, but she was like conking out and shit. Like, dude, I was like, dude, you're gonna have to quit fucking doing that shit, or I mean, I don't care if you're doing it, but you gotta like at least wake up and shit. Like, either way. And then she had like real fine hair, so it was just a problem because you don't want too much overlap, you'll melt the hair. But so these kinds of things are all going to be kind of exposed, and then also there's parts that scripted to hide the natural in a way, and then but oh well, you either get it or you don't. Okay, it's like so obvious. It's like what Elon was saying, that the Tesla in space it's real because it looks so fake. So it's like that kind of situation.